guys, can you hear me? Hi, I'm waiting. We're waiting for a few minutes. We really had issues, so yeah, I wasn't talking. But you can't hear me now, right? Willie had some issues, so I'm taking over. Good. How about the picture? Is it clear? Good. Okay, we have 6 people now. Let's see if a few more will join. Hello everyone, in case you just joined, we're waiting a few minutes. Yeah, I did it because last time you guys complained about too much lag, so Milos, you can view in full screen. If you watch in full screen, you can see the candles much clearer. So you can switch from full screen to smaller screen if you want to chat, and you can do full screen, you will see it full. So I can make them bigger when we start. So I don't know how many will be joining. I was taking a nap, I came back, now price has jumped up. What's going on? Did I miss something? Oh, it was the oil news, right? Yeah, it was something about oil today, an hour ago. Have you guys been trading today? We'll post the link in the forums as well, just to see if anyone else is coming or not. Okay, I think we can start. I don't know if more people are coming or not. Okay, so I want to explain. Has everyone seen the video I uploaded before? I uploaded a video before about a trade I took. I wasn't expecting to do a live session today, so I'm gonna go through that. So let's go back and take a look at it. Yes, sorry, it's Okane now because Willie has problems, so unless he upgrades his internet connection and computer, he probably can't do these streams because these are really heavy for the computer. It's heavy work and you need a high broadband speed. So as you can see, even I have a delay and I have above 110 megabits, and still it's a bit laggy. So not laggy, but maybe a delay about 10-15 seconds. So if those of you who did see the video, do you have any questions? First, let's start with that. Any questions regarding the trade? Okay, so is everyone demo trading? Except for Milos, obviously, but what about Ben and... I'm asking because I want to talk about a beginner strategy, a simpler version of what I did. Let's break it into smaller pieces so you can try to do this on a demo practice. Good, okay. You're live, okay. Alright, so let's talk about this strategy. As you can see, I have two screens, but today let's talk about this once to not confuse you. So what I did was to go in indicators, trend, and add a moving average and exponential 200, and then you add another one with a level 50, so you get a 50 and choose different colors, 150, 200. So this one is these two are for trends, and then you add oscillators here, and stochastic oscillator, choose the 533. It's usually the standard, and you can add levels 20 and 80. 80 is overbought, 20 is oversold. So that's pretty much it. That's all you need. And what you want to do is to look for the trend. So when you use this strategy, go to a higher time frame and look at the trend. So let's do this together one more time. So you pick the chart. I like EURUSD, and you use candle charts. Let's wait for the charts to update. Okay, and then you zoom in some, but not too much. You don't want to zoom in too much because you're not going to see the history. And that's pretty much it. So let's just add the two indicators. We want to use a clean chart this time to show you. And then EMA and the other moving average should be 50. And set it to another color. There's a slight delay, as you may notice, but That's okay. And then we will add oscillators as well, just one 533 level 20 and 80. There you go. I'm gonna draw the oscillator window down to just make it a little bit smaller. We don't want the indicators to take too much space on the chart. So once you've added all the indicators, you might want to go to a higher time frame. So in this example, you can go to the 4-hour time frame, and so the first thing you see that price is starting to trend under the 2 EMAs, and it's making lower highs, even though at some points it is oscillating. Yes, yellow is 50, red is 200 exactly. And if you want, I can make it blue like my other chart, so to not confuse you. There you go. So it's the same colors now as before. 200 is the blue one. In case anyone just joined, it's Okane here. I'm taking over for Willie. He has trouble with his internet connection. It's too weak to be able to stream. So I'm setting up this chart right now to show you a simple strategy. Basically, it's the strategy I use, but I'm trying to break it down into pieces so you can copy this strategy for yourself and learn how to use it. So now that we have added our indicators to moving averages, the 250 and the stochastic with standard settings. So what you want to do is to look at the trend, and you can scroll down to the 1-hour time frame. If you guys have 2 monitors like me, you can have on your other monitor, you can have the MetaTrader, so you can do it yourself while I'm talking. You can go through it, and there won't be a lag, obviously, because you're doing it there. And also it's extra practice for you guys if you have 2 monitors like I do. So anyway, when you go to the hourly time frame, you can draw a line with the mouse button, and from the highs to the lows, and you'll see that price is stepping down and it's stepping below these 2 EMAs. So you know that the trend is going down. And then for today, so now you go back again, you just keep scrolling down to lower time frames and keep analyzing. So you go to the 30-minute time frame, you see it's still stepping down, looks good. Then you go to the 15-minute time frame after that. Let me wait a few seconds. The 15-minute time frame is also it just recently the price jumped up after the news about oil. That's why it's above the EMAs right now, but the overall trend is down because the higher time frames tell you the prices are trending down. So these are just minor retracements, no big deal. Right, so let's go to the 5-minute charts. So then we scroll down, and in this case I have to go back further a little bit. Let me put the line to where I took that trade yesterday. So what I forgot to mention when we were on the 4-hour time frame is that I already placed this line during that day. So if you watch that video I made before, you will see that I started by placing this line here because, let me zoom in. So Okay, so as you can see, this line here, see how well it intercepts the 200 EMA. Price took support above it, and it was resistance before. Look, see how big drop this white bearish candle. So big price action here, big price action here. So resistance, support, resistance here as well, support here, and so let's go back. And here it was support again, became resistance, then price broke above. So you can keep going back and analyze. Here again, big volume drop. It tried to be support here, failed. So you see, you have to go back and check your lines and see that is it really good price action or not. So anyway, now that we know that, so now that we have our line, then we would scroll down as I showed you before. So once you get to the 5-minute chart, all you have to do is to adjust your line. And in this case, it's pretty much well adjusted. Let's compare to my other line on the other chart, just to see that I put it on the right spot. Yeah, I actually put it exactly at the same price, just one pipet away, basically 1/5 of the price. So almost to the point. We did draw this line almost to the point, exactly as I did yesterday, without even looking at the other chart, because the price action matters. You look at the candles and you should be able to place your line in the right position. So anyway, in this scenario where I took my trade, I took the trade here, I believe. Let's see. No, it was here, sorry. You see the EMA changes, right? Sorry, what? Yeah, I can write it down. 1.08582. Okay, so the EMA here, sure. Let's see what I can do. It's the, look to the right, and you will see the price is colored to the right, so you will know it approximately. Oh, there it is. There's the lag. It was just the lag, so you couldn't see. You can see it now, right? It's pretty thick. Yes, lovely. I think we have a couple more viewers, just to quickly brief them. We've been looking at, I uploaded a video before, a few hours ago today, and explained a trade I took. So now I'm breaking down the strategy for you so you can copy that. Great. Let me know if there is anything more I can do. Let's zoom in a bit. Just a second. Okay. Now I found it. I was just a bit confused as to where I took the trade, because the EMAs move, as you might have noticed, and when the price moves, the EMAs change, and when the candles close, the EMAs change as well. So when you go back, it might not look exactly the same as it did No problem. I replaced Willie. So just to be clear, it's Okane. Willie had some technical issues, so I took over to improvise with breaking down this strategy. I uploaded a video about it, so please watch it again. It's good to watch it a few times because you may notice I explained a lot of things in that video. There were lots of confirmations, lots of analyses, so you want to watch it at least 2 or 3 times, even more, if you're a beginner. So watch it over and over till you understand how everything just comes together. So anyway, and this is something that most people don't understand when they try to code, because I have had students who were like, oh yeah, I can code some auto trader and it's gonna give me 80% win rate, and I'm like, no, it's not gonna work. And then they go do it and come back and say, yeah, it did, it gave me 80%. And I'm like, on live or demo? And they're like, no, demo, I was backtesting. And here's the thing, when you backtest, these indicators change by the time. So this is what they don't understand. Now this EMA was higher up. It was at this level up here. And sorry, even up here when I took the trade. I think I have it on that video, or in some video I have some pictures of it. The EMA was up here and I took the trade up here. So if you go back and test, you will see that it looks like that I took the trade up here, sorry, below the EMAs, but which isn't the case. So that's one reason backtesting doesn't work that well. The prices change, the indicators change. So anyway, why did I take this trade up there? Because as I said, this 50 EMA was intercepting my line here, and this low here was lower than this one, lower than this low. So it's the lows are getting lower, the highs are getting lower. What does a low mean? Can someone tell me what is a low and what is a high? Anyone? You can take a guess. I'm sure everyone knows that by now. What is a low, a lower low, and a higher high? Anyone? Take a guess. Okay, so lower lows, the position is where price gets oversold at a lower position. Like in this case here, it was oversold here, which is much lower. So yes, so a put option here was for about, I think it was 12-13 minutes. And even though it was a 12-13 minute trade, as you saw before, I still analyzed all the way from 4-hour time frame and down, and that helped me to pick the perfect entry. And again, remember, this line was above here before when I took the trade, so prices were trending under the 2 EMAs. It got overbought, and it was also overbought on the 15-minute time frame as well. If you go and check it out, it was overbought on this candle here. Yeah, that's the candle. So this is how you do it. You have to start with higher time frames and then work your way down slowly, analyzing each time frame. And now I guess one question would be and should be, why didn't you take the other retracement back up? And I will tell you. Hold on a second. Those 2 EMA are for No, they're not limited to any time frames. You use it on all the time frames. I think you were a little bit late. This trade, you mean? No, it was with the overall trend. Let's go back. I think you guys missed some point. Let's go back and take a look at it one more time. Just to make things clear. It was in accordance with the trend. Again, do some repetitions. Go back and watch the video after we are done here. It is a good opportunity for you to learn. Oh, sorry. Okay, I understand. Sorry, my mistake. No, not really. I will tell you why. The trend was still going down, so it's a bit hard to find here. What happened was that when I took the first trade, the low, if you would consider this a support, even though it's a very how should we say, it was a weak support, because I just drew this based on the lower time frame, just the 5-minute time frame, and I didn't confirm it with higher time frames. So look at this line I'm setting up right now, and so what happens here, you see there was some support, right? And then price fell, so it made a lower low than before, if you would go back and check. And that's why when it made a retracement, I saw that, okay, it makes a lower low, and it's gonna make another high, and probably the 15-minute or 5-minute candle won't close up there. It's gonna get overbought, which is what happened here eventually. And yes, so this time, that was the question, why didn't I take the other one? So this time, the low here, you see it's oversold here. Look at the stochastic. The low was higher than the previous low. So I was afraid for the trend to break and continue up, which is the case. If you look to the right, this is exactly what happened. Like an hour or 2 hours in the future. So this could have happened right here on the time after my trade, when the price retraced back up again. So that's the reason why I didn't risk taking another trade when suddenly the low got higher. It was alarming me about the price, about the trend. I hope that's clear now. Yeah, exactly. So it's good to watch it a couple times, because there are lots of small details that you might not think about because too much information. But you will get used to it after a while. So let's take a look at today. Today prices are also below. I was a little bit late, but this trade would have actually been good when price came up here. Would have been a good trade. So let's take a look at it together. Price bounced, came up here. So let's take a look at higher time frames. Yeah, that's a very, very good area to take a put option. Let me zoom in for you. I will remove the other charts, lines, sorry. So let's remove the line first. I will wait for the charts to update so you see what I'm seeing. I'm going to the daily charts now. Okay, so this is the daily charts, and I was away, as I mentioned before, and price was jumping up when I came back. So if I had been here before, I've made my analysis, and yeah, it's a daily chart. You should be on daily chart. And you see that this 50 EMA and price was coming up. So immediately, again, if I would have been here, I would have placed this line here, because why? First of all, you have this huge candle here, drop. You have this huge drop here. You have resistance here. And you have this huge drop here if you look to the left, further left. So if you look to the left, you see this huge white candle. And you can keep going back. You see there is some support resistance further back. But regardless, now that we know about these candles and we know the EMA, so we have several confirmations. We have the candles. We see the huge volumes. Price have been falling from earlier. This one, these three, and some support resistance. And we have the EMA 50. So then we go back to the 4-hour time frame to see what's going on there. And when you get back to the 4-hour, you see the huge candle, so you can adjust your line to fit the candle. On the 4-hour time frame. So again, you see the drop, and you can look further back. You see some support resistance, some price action before. So always scroll back. Don't zoom in too much, because you zoom in, you miss out those candles. And then you go to the hourly time frame, and again you see the support resistance, and then you keep just zooming out and adjusting your line. So you keep going down. Let's zoom out a bit. So when you go to the lower time frames, you see that you have to lower your line a bit. We didn't quite reach all the way up. There is some, I mean, how much difference? It's just about 1.5 pips of space between the line we drew on the daily chart and what I see on the 5-minute chart. So this was a great place to enter a put option, because price jumped up and it reached a daily resistance. So daily resistance is very strong. So even though the trend looks to be in an uptrend on the 5-minute chart, it has reached a daily resistance. So it means there are a lot of sellers in the market, lots of huge volumes. And as you can see, it was huge because it just dropped. And furthermore, prices were overbought. You can check it out on the hourly, almost got overbought. The only reason this didn't get overbought now, the oscillator on the hourly time frame, if you look at it, it's because this candle on the hourly was pushed back so heavily, and it was pushed below the EMA 200. So that's why it didn't get completely overbought. And 30 minutes, 15 minutes, they were all overbought. So this was a really good position to jump in, even though it didn't quite reach all the way up. It was just 1 pip, 1.5 pip away from the resistance line. And since this resistance line was on a daily, based on a daily, you don't see this pink line it's just one line. There's just one line here that we drew on the daily charts. There's one line we drew on the daily, and now we have scrolled down to the 5-minute chart and adjusted it. Well, every line you draw, look, if I draw a line here, what is this? If I draw a new line, let's wait for it to If you draw a line anywhere, it's going to be both of them, because at some point price has been above, at some point price has been below. You understand? Yeah, so now we're talking about the resistance line today. Yes, but this the line we were talking about before, the upper line, is a resistance now, because the prices are below it. If they're below it, they're coming up, touching it, they're below it, it's a resistance. If it's above it, it's support. So that's the only thing there is with the support resistance line. Price is either above it, it's support, or it's below, then it's resistance. So, it's just like when you are taking your bicycle out. If the wind is behind your back, it's obviously support, but when you're going home later that day, the wind's still blowing the same way, then it's resistance, right? Because it's slowing you down now. So it's nothing fancy here, it's the same principle. So that's pretty much it about the video I uploaded. For those of you who are new, I will quickly go through it one more time to wrap this up. It's Okane here. It was Willie's turn to do a session today, but I took his place. He has some technical issues, and I am in quite a hurry. I have to go somewhere, so let's wrap this up. So let's go to the daily charts. No problem. I think it's good that you guys ask, so there are no dumb questions, so just go ahead and ask. It's totally okay to be confused. These are lots of information to digest. So one more time quickly, this is the daily chart. You see prices was coming up. You see the EMA 50 and this yellow EMA 50, and so you put your line here because you see how this candle, lots of sellers in the market push the price down here and here and here, price closed below, and here further back to the left, far left, you see a huge white bearish candle drop. So you keep analyzing and you go down the time frames until you reach to the 1 minute and 5 minute time frame, and you wait for the price to come untouched. So in this case it was just 1 pip away, and since this is really heavy volume and strong resistance line based on the daily chart, it's okay to take it. And I will actually do a little bit of I would say, because you're placing your line on the based on the daily charts, I would say take a little bit longer expiry as well. So maybe 20 minutes, half an hour in this case. Usually I do 10-15 minutes, but I would do a little bit more. But then there's something else based on the clock and timing as well, and I will teach you in the future. EUR/USD is a bit special when it comes to times. So you're welcome. Thanks for joining. I'm glad so many people joined, and watch the video I made again because I explain everything in there. And let me know on Skype if you have any questions, and try out this strategy for yourself. Try making lines just like I showed you. Yeah, it depends on the chart and depends on the clock, depends on the strength of your support resistance line. Is it based on the daily or is it just a 15-minute chart? So any more questions? We'll talk about expiries more in the future because those are really hard to pick for beginners. It depends on a few things. No, not only. I wouldn't say that. Sometimes it's 10 minutes, sometimes 12 minutes, 13 minutes. Depends on where the clock is and when price reaches. I usually enter the trade. This is what I can tell you about my entries. I enter when the price touches my lines, because when I do these thorough analyses and place my lines and almost to the perfection, I know that this is the sorry, that it's probable that those are the highest possible or lowest, for that matter, if it's a support I'm waiting for, places. So when that happens, sorry, someone called me, got distracted. Yeah, exactly. So I use the lines. Thanks, Milos. Use the lines. When the price touches the line, I enter a trade. That's because some traders say, oh, should I wait for the candle to close? I don't do that. Look, if you had waited for the candle to close, you would have, in this case, you would have made it because this was a huge drop. But if you're taking hourly expiries, because this was based on the daily charts, so this candle would have closed and then you entered, and look what happened. Price went immediately against you all the way, and it's been doing so for almost an hour now. So I wouldn't do that. I would have entered up here already, and I would have been so in the money. So that's why if you do these lines correctly, if you spend time analyzing well, you will have as accurate as possible lines, and you will enter exactly as when the price touches it, and you will be in the money from the start. Yes, you can use RSI too. I like RSI 7 if you want to replace stochastic, but I think stochastic is I like it better. Okay, everyone, is there anything else you want to ask? So ask away, and then we will wrap this up. Again, watch the video I recorded before, and you can watch this stream too. It will take a while for YouTube to upload it, but it will show up in the playlist. You can watch it again. And if you're late, you can scroll back. Alright guys, see you on Skype. This is Okane. I'm out.